What is on tap on today's show? Well, let me tell you. First up, we're going to give you some inside scoop on just the latest rumblings, things we're hearing from sources in and around Michigan football fall camp. It's week 3, right? By the time you watch this, Friday afternoon, 15 days till Michigan kicks off this 2023 season. And then I'm going to go through all 10 position groups, defense, offense, and special teams, and rank them in my level from 1 to 10 in confidence that I have throughout this 2023 season. Now, I'm not a jersey guy. You guys know that in the past if you watch this show. I'm wearing one today, the Dononvan Edwards jersey, and that is because we have BetUS back as our sportsbook partner for another year. If you've seen it in the past, first month or two of the season, they let us do the BetUS jersey special. So if you guys don't know, BetUS, our sportsbook partner, if you want to bet on Michigan football games, bet on college football, the NFL, hell, the NBA, Major League Baseball, go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Use promo code GoBlue. Get you 125% deposit bonus. Put in 100, extra 125, 200, extra 250, and jersey giveaway deal, Jordan brand jersey. Now, it's going to be the number 1. The number 7, this one is only available through a different retailer. It's got the Dononvan Edwards NIL thing on the back, so you got to pay the player. This is just the standard Jordan brand jersey, Michigan number 1. No player name in the back, so the standard one we've offered the last couple years. What you got to do to take advantage of this offer, we fulfill the jersey, so don't go calling BetUS asking them where it is. Go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Get started with BetUS using promo code GoBlue. Sign up and deposit at least $100 or more on your first deposit. You get that 125% deposit bonus. Once you make your first bet, screenshot it or take a look at it on your phone whenever you can on your computer. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Say, hey, I got going with BetUS. Here's a picture of my first bet. All we're going to need is to get your account number, get your address and size. We'll ship one off to you. So reminder, it's BetUS. chatsports.com/GoBlue. chatsports.com/GoBlue. You got to use the promo code GoBlue. I can't stress that enough. No spaces. If you use that, you'll show up in the system for a free jersey. Second, you hit us at jersey@chatsports.com. We will get you one of these Michigan football Jordan brand number 1 jerseys. The email address is down in the description of today's video. Make sure to go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Let's get rolling with the Michigan football report by Chat Sports right now. 15 days till Michigan gets underway for a national championship run. It's Houston or bust. Where are you guys watching that opening game from? Are you going to be at a friend's house? You're going to be watching your couch? I can't watch it, James. I'm going to be working or on vacation. It's Labor Day weekend. Let me know down in the comments. Going to the game, whatever it is. Where are you watching Michigan versus ECU? High noon Eastern at the Big House on September 2nd. I'll ask you guys this question as you think about that, as you go down and comment below. Do you want to see this face? Do you want to watch Michigan football and also see this face, the one here? And where's that, Jack? This one right there, the little face with the mustache from the 2021 season? Well, if you'd be interested in that, here's what we've got going on. I've teased this a little bit in the previous shows. We're actually going to do it. I will be on camera for the entire Michigan ECU game. If it goes well, we'll do more of them. We're going to go live about 45 minutes before the game with a full pregame show. And we're not going to show the game, right? It's illegal to show the game. We're not going to do that, get copyright, and have the channel shut down. We'll have the scoreboards, stats. I will be synced up with the game, reacting live to every game, calling play-by-play. So if you aren't watching it, we try to have kind of a radio-like experience with it. If you are going to be watching the game on the Peacock network, it's on the cock, put it on your TV, put us up on the phone or the iPad or the computer, turn their volume off, turn ours up. Myself and Jack Latteray, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh, 45 minutes prior to the game, and we'll do a full post-game show after the game. So we'll be on there probably for 4.5, 5 straight hours. Hit that subscribe button and remind yourself to join us September 2nd, 11:15 a.m. Eastern. Starting today's show with some Jim Harbaugh contract rumors. I've been talking to sources, trying to get an update now that the NCAA and Harbaugh seemingly are in an impasse with the potential suspension for Harbaugh. My sources are saying that because there's still an impasse, because we don't know what the outcome is, that Ward Manuel and Jim Harbaugh, there's a pause in any future contract extension talks. Now, Jim Harbaugh not getting a massive contract or a long-term deal after the past 2 seasons, I think for Ward Manuel as the athletic director at Michigan is professional malpractice. And I ask you, what the hell does Ward Manuel do all day? So as of now, 15 days left in the season, no movement on Harbaugh's potential long-term contract. I think with the NFL and the suspension out there, that is professional malpractice by Michigan's athletic director. Get a damn deal done. I mean, Harbaugh at this point going into his 9th season in Michigan, lock him up on a 7-year, $75 million deal, $80, $90 million deal, whatever it takes to keep him from looking at NFL jobs, even with NCAA suspensions lingering over his head. What's the downside? Go ahead and do it, Ward Manuel. I encourage you to get the damn job done. Some more news coming out of fall camp. Colston Loveland. If you saw my offensive depth chart we had in the live show on Tuesday, or I think we just put it out, yesterday it went out, Jack? On Thursday, or maybe Wednesday it went out, offensive depth chart. I was hearing after the first 2 weeks of fall camp that Colston Loveland was kind of the tight end 1B, but he had a huge week in practice, really emerging as a downfield threat, not your typical tight end, but he's going deep down the sidelines, up the seam, and has been J.J. McCarthy's top go-to in the red zone, something Michigan really struggled with last year. So see how that goes. Maybe he will overtake A.J. Barner at that tight end 1 position. Guys, if you can, hit that like button for me. Let's make sure we're getting the likes up on the video. See if we can get it to 100 likes in the first hour of publishing this video. Get it into the YouTube feed of more Michigan football fans so we can continue to grow this channel all season long. How about the early offensive game plan? The first 4, 5, 6, hell, even 7 games of this 2023 season. I don't think any Michigan fans think that the Wolverines should have too many problems. Now, I talked about it in our video a couple days ago that I thought the game against Michigan State towards the end of October, I guess October 21st, look, it's still a rivalry game. Plenty of upsets have happened. Michigan's got to go on the road to East Lansing, a night game. Maybe it happens there. First 5, 6 games, though, Michigan could do whatever they want. I don't think there's any chance they're going to lose any of those games. They're planning to, we know what we're getting from the offensive game plan on the running side, be more aggressive with the downfield passing game, especially in the red zone. And that's where Colston Loveland, as I mentioned just a moment ago, has started to shine. I am interested to see what Michigan's going to do with Dononvan Edwards in this early part of the season. As Edwards said in an interview a couple weeks back, he's been working as a slot receiver, wants to get on the field a ton. Michigan wants to get him on the field a ton with Blake Corum. You can't have 2 running backs like that because only one guy can get the ball. So getting Dononvan Edwards out of the backfield, lining up as a slot receiver, lining up as an outside receiver, or coming out of the backfield once the ball is snapped, I think is going to be a huge addition for this team. We saw what he can do as a running back, and we've also seen what he can do to passing attack. Those last 3 games you saw there, over 500 yards, 520 yards on 70 carries and 3 touchdowns in his 3 games as a starter. I'm excited to see what we get out of Dononvan Edwards in his 3rd year, and probably last year as Michigan's running back, kind of a backup running back at this point, but we will see how things shake out. Michigan gets underway in 15 days. Speaking of running backs, my number 1 most confident position, the position group that I am really looking forward to for this 2023 Michigan football season. You've got Dononvan Edwards. He's out. I'm sorry, we've got Blake Corum. Sorry, got Blake Corum. He's out for injury like he was against the second half against Illinois. Well, we saw what happened there, but Ohio State, Purdue, TCU, Dononvan Edwards has proved he's probably the 2nd best running back in all of college football. So I've got them as my number 1 running back, number 1 position group going into this season. I think they've got the highest amount of talent. I think they've got the best depth at number 1 and number 2. Can they be a legendary college football duo that college football fans across all teams, across all conferences, will be talking about 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now like they do for Lendale White and Reggie Bush and other combos like that? Next up, I've got the offensive line for this team. Jim Harbaugh thinks he has as many as 7 starter-level offensive linemen against, in the group that won the Joe Moore Award, Best O-line in college football the last 2 years. We'll talk about more on the offensive line here in a second, but did want to remind you, we started the show, BetUS, our sportsbook partner, back for another season. Go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Screenshot that right now. Make sure you use the right URL, the right promo code, GoBlue, no spaces. You get the 125% deposit bonus and free Michigan football Jordan brand jersey we are going to fulfill here at the Chat Sports office. So once you get going with BetUS, chatsports.com/GoBlue, promo code GoBlue, sign up and deposit $100. You get that deposit bonus, and you make your first bet, send us a screenshot and your account number. We'll get your information, verify it. It's really easy to do if you use the right link in the promo code, and then we will get your address and size and ship you off a Michigan football jersey. Don't miss out. It won't last the entire season. BetUS, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Make sure you're using that promo code GoBlue. Look, with the offensive line, the only thing I am concerned about, that you should be concerned about, is that there are 3 transfers coming in from the Pac-12, 2 from Stanford and 1 from Arizona State. The Arizona State, Ladarius Henderson, right? He didn't get on campus till just about 6-8 weeks ago. He had to finish spring practice and spring ball into summer at Arizona State to get his degree. The two guys at Stanford, well, they stunk last year. Now, right, Chris Hinton's brother, Miles Hinton, and Drake Nugent, they're expected to make an impact, but they haven't been in the system a long time. They didn't really participate much in spring ball, and the spring game they both missed. So that is my biggest concern. They clearly have the amount of talent, but coming into a new system, that's why they're not up there as number one over the running backs. How about the defensive line? Really liking what I'm seeing out of the defensive line. I think they're deep at all the positions this year, both on the edge and on the interior. You've got 4 guys on the outside with this defensive line that I think are starter quality for any big team in the Big Ten at this point. With Josiah Stewart coming over from Coastal Carolina, you just add another piece to a puzzle, Derek Moore, etc., in addition to the 2 starters that we put out in our defensive depth chart on Tuesday's show that will actually come out on the channel as well coming up tomorrow. Before we go through the rest of our 10 position groups, I'll ask you guys, which position group are you the least confident in? The least confident in. And the way I base these rankings, guys, it wasn't just who the starter is. It's the starter and the backups, the full gamut of the position group. I'll give you guys a little insight. I'm going to scroll down and tell you who mine is. We'll have to wait to the end of the show. It's the kick and the punt returners as of now. Not really any proven talent there. The guy who did that stuff last year is no longer with this program, so let me know down in the comments. Next up is the secondary. There is one part of this secondary that is the unknown, okay? And at this time, it's potentially concerning that after Will Johnson, we don't know what this cornerback depth looks like. Amarian Walker, seen coming in and out of crutches. You've got the transfer coming over from UMass. You've got other players, Jaden McBurrows and others, all vying for that second role. You've got maybe the best safety combo in all of college football in Rod Moore and in Makari Page. You've got the best slot corner in all of college football in Mike Sainristil. Will Johnson could be the actual best corner in college football. So you could have, if you said those 4 guys, the best secondary in all of college football. But the fact that number 5, and Michigan runs a 5 defensive back set, is so unsettled and so unproven, I had to kind of drop them back because we just don't know what we're going to get. This is a passing sport. I'm going to put the secondary at number 4. Number 5 is the quarterback. Okay? We've got some movement in the quarterback depth chart as of recently. I can firmly say after 3 weeks of fall practice, that Davis Warren, former walk-on, is now firmly as J.J. McCarthy's backup. Jack Tuttle, the transfer from Indiana, former 4-star quarterback, has been around college football for like 6 years at this point. He has not performed as well as Warren has and has dropped back to number 3, so I expect Davis Warren to be the first guy to get snaps when J.J. McCarthy has Michigan up by 40 points or so in the first few games of the year. The quarterback depth is still a little, really only one true, I think, Michigan quality quarterback on this roster that was recruited by Jim Harbaugh. You're going to say Alex Orji and some others, but after McCarthy was recruited in the 2021 class, Michigan went 2 straight classes without a true, what I consider, quarterback recruit that you can think is a future starter. And so the depth is a concern. If it was just based on starters, JJ would be up there with the offensive line, the running backs, but what if he gets dinged up, okay? What happens if he happens to miss a few series in a close game? I mean, think what happened last year. Blake Corum got hurt. Dononvan Edwards out at running back. There was such a drop-off for that number 3 guy. Same drop-off, I think, occurs here with J.J. McCarthy to the number 2. That is maybe the biggest concern of this entire team in depth perspective is if J.J. McCarthy has to miss any time. Keep it rolling with the tight ends. Talk about the top of the show, which I think is something to keep an eye on, is that Colston Loveland had himself a huge week of practice last 3 or 4 days. Michigan set to have another scrimmage this weekend. Unsure if it's fully padded or not. Last week was in full pads or if it's going to be in helmets and shoulder pads. But Colston Loveland emerging as a guy J.J. McCarthy can trust, especially inside the red zone. And as we saw in the Big Ten championship game, he can go right down the field, up the sideline, double coverage, and make touchdown catches. He might, when we put out another depth chart right before the season comes, we might actually see Colston Loveland reemerge as Michigan's starting tight end over transfer A.J. Barner. Let me know what you guys think in the opener against East Carolina. An 8-5 team last year. This isn't some schlup team, 3-9, 8-5 team last year. How many points will this Michigan football offense put up against ECU on September 2nd? I'm going to go with 52 at this point. I think the offense is going to come out humming. They'll drop 38 in the first half, kind of take a step back in the second half. I'm going with 52. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Number 8 on my list, number 7 on my list, I'm going to go with the linebacker group. Very strong depth. You had Michael Barrett come back for his 6th year, so both starters are returning, Junior Colson, Michael Barrett. But this group struggled towards the end of the year, right? There was sometimes early on in the season that you're like, what's going on with the linebackers? Junior Colson, he's being projected as a first-team All-American by a few publications, a first-round draft pick after his junior year this year by a few different draft prognosticators. But there were times last year that Junior Colson did not look like a star defender for Michigan and really maybe even took a step back from his true freshman year when he was a starter in 2021. So the last couple games of the year, they struggled. Now you've got Ernest Hausman coming over. I think people really like what they see out of sophomore Jimmy Roller, who got a few times to play last year. So you like what you see in the depth. It's all about making plays. And when you come up against a different offense like TCU or Purdue presented to Michigan, that they don't just look completely lost out of there going up against 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Number 8 is kicker and punter. Now, if Michigan didn't get a transfer over the spring and summer, I might put this at number 10 by a long shot, but they did get a starter-level kicker coming over to replace the greatest kicker in Big Ten history, Jake Moody, who is now with the 49ers. Was like a 4th-round draft pick, Jake, 5th-round draft pick. Usually don't see kickers drafted that early. Turner, 80% from his field goals in his career, 4 seasons at Louisville. He will be Michigan's starting kicker, so I don't have them as down as far as I may have had Turner not come over to be a part of this Michigan football team. Well, wide receiver at number 9. With both starters returning, you might be surprised that this is where I put the wide receiver, but what I think it was just, hey, Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, great, but what about the younger wide receivers, right? Who's going to step up? We thought Tyler Morris might be the guy. He was hurt last week. He couldn't participate in the full padded scrimmage. Darius Clemens, he missed recent practices too. Now, I heard he was back as of yesterday, but where is Darius Clemens, right? Him and Morris were the guys from the 2022 recruiting class that you expected to be in the starter mix for this 2023 season. Neither one has truly stepped up. Morris being hurt kind of stopped some momentum that he had to be the 3rd starting wide receiver. Depth behind them, non-existent from players we've heard of. It's all the true freshmen that came in this 2023 class. So you're really thin at wide receiver both this year, I think, and down the stretch. Cornelius Johnson getting hurt recently. Tyler Morris and Darius Clemens. You've got some major depth issues to go with rather pedestrian production from Johnson and Wilson, the top 2 returning receivers, with Colson Loveland being number 3. Last up on the list, it is the kick and punt returners. Okay, so you think about what this kick and punt return lineup looks like. I fear that what Michigan might run into with both positions is they want to put starters at cornerback or at wide receiver or from running back at those positions to put the best guys in the field, but you really risk an injury if you were to do that. So I'll tell you more about the little wrinkle in the kick and punt return game plan in a moment, but let's get the Go Blues type in. Make sure that this is the time of the year when we start getting all kinds of rival fan bases infiltrating our comments, trying to spam us, go Ohio State, Michigan State, Notre Dame, blah, blah, blah. Type Go Blue. Make sure we are showering the comment section with Go Blues to prove to all of college football that Michigan has the unquestioned number 1 fan base. Orgy in the end zone, a very popular saying last year made popular by RG3, Robert Griffin III. I think it was Michigan's opening game, wasn't it, Jack? Maybe first, second game when Alex Orgy, the then freshman quarterback, scored a touchdown. Orgy in the end zone, kind of play on words, but apparently he has been getting a lot of work in the past 10 days or so as a kick returner. So I've got Mike Sainristil potentially getting in the mix right now as a punt returner, Alex Orgy as a kick returner to maybe take some of that burden off of Roman Wilson and some others. Even people have said, okay, Dononvan Edwards has taken a couple days, a couple snaps back there at kick returner or even punt returner. So you could end up with a situation where Alex Orgy, which, I don't know. It seems like a bad idea, but what do I know, right? Because you think about, not Jalen Hare, just forgetting the running back's name, the jump pass guy, right? The linebacker. He went in, fumbled against TCU at the goal line. Okay, that's a bad play. Didn't like that. Think back to 2019. Michigan going into Wisconsin, like a top 10 Wisconsin team, crushing an offense first drive right down the field. They hand the ball off to Ben Mason, right? The tight end, the defensive end / fullback, he fumbles at the goal line. Michigan has a bad history of weird position, moving guys to new positions. I'm not sure if I like what I see from Alex Orji trying to be a kick returner. I mean, the guy is absolutely humongous, but I guess I'll trust Jay Harbaugh. He's proven out to be maybe the best special teams coordinator in all of college football the past 2 seasons. Guys, as you know, we are back on Instagram, relaunched the Michigan Football Report. It is at Michigan Football Report. At some point this August, early September, I'm going to make that account private to break some big-time Michigan football news. So don't be trying to snoop on it, not follow, and expect to get that news. So go follow us today. It's at Michigan Football Report. The link for that is in the comments and the description. We have a new video coming out for you on Saturday and on Sunday, so make sure you guys join us all weekend long. Go Blue.